Hello. Here I am for the first episode of Substack Confidential. If you hear some background noise, it's my little son that's sleeping in the same room with me, or maybe me looking into my notes. I write them on pen and paper. Old school, I know, and they help me stay on track. Today we're talking about Substack Notes because everyone is talking about Substack Notes. And I want to talk about something that not many people talk about. Is it really possible to get a viral note following someone's recipe? I'm going to go through actual science, actual studies that might give us some insights. So stick around, get a nice beverage of your choice. I have a big cup of water here. I had too much coffee already. Yes. And let's get into it. So, first of all, there's plenty of gurus out there, and some might even put me in a guru category, even though I say I'm more of a guru, like doing things, teaching you tools, giving you templates to update your visual design. But anywho, there's gurus out there that claim they can teach you how to write notes that will basically go viral or help you get more subscribers and things like that. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that. So, is it worth it? Is it worth it going to these challenges that they price? Basically, there's many that even do. It's not like, oh, for my paid subscribers, let's do a notes challenge or whatever. They even make it as a separate course. So you have to pay extra, even if you're a paid subscriber, to get into this course or download this guide and learn how to do notes right. And I want to give you my opinion if it's worth it or not. So if you're new to Substack and you don't even know what a note is, and what it's about, and you don't want to waste time figuring out on your own, you can for sure get any of the gurus out there. More or less, they have the same advice to help you out, to give you a starting, a leg up, let's say, head start, because they're gonna teach you kind of the basics of how to do notes. I'll share in the link my Substack live recording where I went through the top 15 things I've learned from studying all the gurus about notes in preparation for a workshop that I was giving. I'm pretty sure it's free, so you can just take it and save yourself some money. I'll put it in the notes. Making a note for myself here, so I know to send you this. Put it in the notes. Okay. So it's worth it if you have the disposable income or you want to support that creator. Go for it. I've heard some creators are quite difficult to get in touch with if you have questions, if you don't like what they provide or things like that. But let's say if you're not spending an arm and a leg on it, go for it. Will this guarantee that you will have notes that will go viral? I read something today from, I can't remember, someone on Substack saying that if you have less than 200 subscribers, don't even bother with notes because, nobody's going to see it. Nobody's going to like it. Focus on commenting and interacting on other people's notes and chats. And I agree with this partially. I think your notes they're not going to get a lot of traction. But I think you should still start writing your notes, learning by doing. There's no reason to not write them. Maybe just don't expect that you're going to have lots and lots of likes. I'll go to the viral part and how it happens. But just to kind of manage your expectations. When you're new in Substack, most people don't get viral notes. They can barely get any likes. And yeah, it sucks, but that's kind of how it is. But you can start writing them and get practice with them, but definitely focus on commenting, interacting with other people's notes, people that write about a topic really relevant to what you write about, what you create, what you're about on Substack or wherever you create content. But we're talking about Substack, so I'm not going to expand it further. Okay, so it's kind of worth it with getting help from a guru with a course and whatever if you're going to really follow it. Many people are like, yeah, I bought it. I'm not doing anything about it. That's another point. What about note boost challenges? What do they work? I have a very very precise opinion on this, which is I don't want to waste my time with Note Boost challenges. So, what are Note Boost challenges? For the ones that don't know, it's this. Let's say a creator, one of these gurus that I'm talking about, will put in their chat or in an article. Here is a Note Boost challenge. Put your note in the comments or in the chat, and everyone else like it, and or put your own note and like at least 5, 3, whatever, note from the chat. What happens in reality, and I've tried a few, I'm not talking about it from outside, I did try it. What happens is everyone just kind of copy pastes a note that they have or an article or or a note linking to their article, and then you get a few likes from the people basically immediately below or above the note you've provided. And so yeah, from 0 likes, all of a sudden that note might have 5 likes. Will that change anything in the algorithm, in your success on Substack or anything like that? No, it's not going to change it. What you're doing is using a lot of your time going on these notes challenges, being super sweet. So you're going to go and read articles and notes of other people, related or not, because it's just links, what they throw out there. And yeah, maybe you make a friend. Maybe something is relevant. Who knows? Stranger things have happened. But that's what I'm saying. It's a lot of effort to be part of these notes, and the actual I don't know, reward, let's say, is not great. What you can try to do that's a bit better is try to connect with people on other chats that have a similar topic to yours or relevant topic to yours, where there's a big audience overlap. That would help you much more than joining these ego-based note boost challenges. The only person that really benefits from Note Boost challenges is the person hosting the Note Boost challenge, because they seem to be the guru that has it all figured out and that's imparting knowledge and helping people grow. But they don't grow and they're not getting viral. And if they do, they get the benefit of, helping them just because they were part of their challenge at one point or got their course. Because if 1,000 people are going to buy someone's course, it might be, just statistically speaking, that some of them go viral. And then they're going to be like, oh yeah, totally, this person went viral because they took my course. Is it? Is it really like that? We'll talk about it in a little while. So continue listening. Okay, so are Note Boost challenges worth it? I don't think so. I think genuine interaction on people's notes, just on the river, where you can find people talking about your topic exactly, is the best way to go about it. And you can do it in your own time and control the amount of time on it and the people you connect with, instead of the randomness of a note boost challenge. Okay. Then, can anyone, even the biggest gurus here give you a recipe to go viral, or is it just luck? So that's the question I'm answering next. Can anyone give you a recipe to go viral on Notes, or is it just luck? And this is where I'm going to appeal to a bit of science. But my laptop with my notes totally turned off. Well, not turned off, but closed off. So I'm getting those notes up because there's names and numbers and I don't want to mess it up. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about an algorithm in general. An algorithm, from my understanding, and I'm a legal professional at my basis, not technical, not a developer or anything like that. I don't have extensive AI or technical experience, but I did work in tech for 15 years, helping these people create systems that are safe and compliant with privacy and et cetera, it doesn't matter. What I'm trying to say is an algorithm, from what I understand, is a very complex system of rules that determines what note gets liked and boosted and what doesn't. The rules that they put in are totally secret, and not only that, maybe even not something that anyone except maybe the main developer helping with the algorithm would know how to unpack. Especially now with the help of AI, these systems and these algorithms are getting more and more complex. That's one side of things. On the other side of things, we have people, millions of people on notes that are being maybe pushed this note because the algorithm liked the note. Can an algorithm, just by pushing notes to people, make that note be successful? No. You still need to appeal to the person. You still need to get the people whose eyeballs are on the note to click like or to comment. So what I'm trying to get to here is that there's been studies, actual proper studies. The most famous one is from Philip Tetlock. It's a 20-year-old. The length of the study is 20 years, where Philip Tetlock has studied 284 experts and went over 82,361 predictions. And at the end of it, it was demonstrated that the predictions of experts of what will happen in the future are worse than random luck. Experts are terrible at predicting the future. So experts are terrible at telling you how you're going to succeed. One, because the algorithm is complex and cannot be explained. Two, because you cannot expect to know how millions of people from diverse backgrounds will react to a note. Sure, you can find some patterns and you can learn some things, but that's not going to guarantee that you're going to be viral. Virality to me is kind of like winning the lottery. And if you look at the notes that go viral, most of the times, at least when I look at my feed, there are always these notes where they're like, oh, I just landed here. Substack is amazing. I already have 1,000 subscribers in 2 weeks. I feel so blessed. I want to connect with everyone. I love everyone. And maybe there's some jealousy in my voice, and that is because in the year and a half that I've been on Substack writing notes every day for more than one note a day, maybe 10 at this point, I've never gotten a viral note. I think the most viral, quote unquote, note I've had maybe reached over 100. And it was about me, my theory that Substack is a place for cat people because it seemed that there was no dogs and everyone liked everyone else's cats. Uh, and that note got more than 100 likes, but that's about it. So just to say, no one can predict your success. And I'm talking here about notes, which is a small part of what we do here on Substack. But if you look at other gurus out there that are trying to promise that you're gonna, if you take their course, if you join their community, you're gonna find success on Substack, that is even more unlikely. And I have another article that I want to talk to you about, which is Duncan Watts' Music Lab experiment that had 14,000 participants, and that basically was an experiment where Duncan took, I think it was like around 50 songs, and they showed it to the participants. In the control group, nobody knew what the ranking of those songs were. They could download the songs, listen to it, and rate it. And then there was a top song and then other songs. There were other groups from these participants where they knew what the top song in their group was. And then Duncan gathered all the data of all the different groups that listened to the same exact songs, exactly the same, put in the same list in the same way. And he realized that the top song in each group was so random that one song could be number one in one group and number 40 something in another group. That's how random success of those songs were. So, of course, there's always a bottom and a top. You need to write a good song, a decent song that people can listen to without trying to cover their ears. But apart from that, success and predicting success of a song is total randomness. Total randomness. And that's why experts cannot predict your success. On notes, on Substack, on your business, on anything. I'm not saying we don't need experts. We do. But don't trust that with their help, somehow you'll magically become successful. And if you do, know that that's your own merit and not the merit of the gurus you're following. So great for you if you manage to have a viral note, if you manage to have a super successful Substack. And if you want a quick and dirty tip on how to become very successful on Substack, just write about AI. If you write about AI, if your topic is somehow AI related, you'll have more success than the average. I think at the beginning of Substack, maybe crypto and investments were how your Substack will grow a lot. And now it's also AI that joined the pack. And you can write about, stay-at-home mom, how I use AI to make my life easier. For example, it doesn't have to be super technical and super, I don't know, to provide these super precise, technical, geeky insights. It can be easy. It can be fun. So here you are, maybe a recipe for success or being a bit more successful than I and other people I know are on Substack. I don't particularly like using AI. I think it sucks. So I'm happy with my slow growth. And hopefully this podcast will gain me some listeners that then want to become subscribers on Substack. And if you want to know about my Substack, it's called Me Time. Learn Substack fast. Learn Substack fast. And I'll put it in the show notes. Okay, so what I was talking about is, can anyone give you a recipe for success on notes or otherwise? And the reason, the answer I was giving you is that success is totally random. But then the question comes, how come there's so many people, so many experts saying that they have that say so confidently that they have a recipe for notes to go viral or be super successful, or for your Substack to become a bestseller or whatever you want. How come there are so many experts making tons of money doing exactly that? One, because people want recipes. They want shortcuts, like how to lose weight in 5 days without dieting and things like that. Ozempic, I guess, is the answer to that. I don't know. This podcast is not sponsored. Whatever I say here is just coming out of my head. Use your judgment in making any decisions about what I say here, products that I mention by mistake or not mistake. Just because I mentioned them doesn't mean they're sponsored. If I would ever sponsor something, I would mention it, just so you know. Okay, so everything is random. There's just luck, and we're just kind of floating in the Substack universe trying to find our way. And then some people might feel very, I don't know, sad about it, because it would be great to have a recipe. But if there was a recipe, don't you think there would be so many people having thousands and thousands and hundreds of subscribers? Because when you start looking deeply, you can see that most people just struggle to get by and work so hard on their Substack and they don't succeed. And all we see is the few that get lucky with the algorithm, with the topic that they've chosen, and get a bit more ahead. And in this environment, should you just quit Substack or just kind of do it just because you love it? Or what should you do? And that's a big question, right? But I think I have a good answer, or the answer I give myself, having heard these or read these studies, looked at the information. I've decided this is a great explanation for why in a year and a half, I barely managed to break 1,000 subscribers now, having provided a lot of super valuable advice, templates for terms and conditions to protect yourself from risks, templates to build the most beautiful Substack websites without having to be a professional designer and spend lots of money. I shared so many good insights, amazing workshops, the Me Time Do sessions, and so on. And I barely broke 1,000 subscribers now. And let me tell you, those 1,000 subscribers are not super engaged. My open rate is maybe around 20% or something like that. So I'm speaking not from a point of expertise, but from a point of experience and a bit of common sense, which I feel like it's missing from what you see just floating on the Substack river. But when I listened to people talk about success and read these studies, I realized one thing. It might be all random and luck can come my way or not. If I write what I'm passionate about, help people genuinely, show up when I can without burnout, without overdoing it, then eventually some sort of success might come my way. And if it doesn't, that's absolutely okay. Every effort that you make compounds. For example, with what I'm talking about, the design templates that I share to update your Substack or update your LinkedIn, make it look nice and professional. You think, okay, but if I don't want to be a content creator, I don't need these templates. And I'm like, yeah, but you have a skill that you've learned to create these beautiful banners, beautiful images, beautiful things for your content that then you can also use in your career, in your business, in many different contexts. Like today, I shared in my chat, my subscriber chat, about coffee, where you can tip people for the content that they share, and then you can even use coffee to get birthday gifts. So if you have a birthday coming up, you can create a nice banner and say, "Buy me a gift," or put in some money in my birthday gift fund or something. However you want to phrase it, create a nice design, put it on your Facebook or whatever you use in terms of social media, Instagram, and have your friends, your family, your colleagues, share a little gift with you if they want. So that's what I'm saying about the things that you do on Substack, on LinkedIn, on whatever. These things that you're learning help you in your next chapter. You might not know how things go together, but they do. And about success, a lot of the things that we need to do in order to succeed here is actually just stick with it. And while we stick with it, instead of staying very stuck on doing the same exact thing, the same exact way, trying to make little tweaks along the way from advice from gurus, from advice from friends, from inspiration that you get while you go on a walk, whatever it is that can help you find your path on Substack, find that ikigai area where you do something you love that people find useful too and would pay for. And it takes time and it takes iteration. If you listen to any of the big investors out there from Lion's Den, Crocodile's Den, whatever dens they have in the different countries, you will know that what they say is that we know that when we invest in a company, we're pretty much sure that whatever we invest in is not going to be the final product that will grow. There's going to be so many iterations. Companies need to always learn from what they're doing, look at the customer feedback, and develop it. And a tool that used to be, I think, a teaching tool, like where a teacher was putting the digital works of her class, ended up being Instagram, and so on. There's these pivots that little by little lead to something great. And what you need to do is be aware, listen to your customers or your subscribers, listen to the questions that people ask that are relevant for your topic. And I wouldn't say pivot, because pivot sounds like you're going to make a huge change. Tweak it. Tweak your approach. Tweak your expertise. Tweak your niche. Try different things and see what sticks. Make sure you pause, take some me time, and reflect on what's working and what doesn't. At least once quarterly, if not every week. Try to figure out what you've done this week, what was successful, what was not, what you can change. Be more intentional about what you put out there and stick with it enough time that you know you're either enjoying it so much that you can continue doing it, or you've given it enough time, effort, and expertise that you can, with your hand on your heart, say, I gave it a try and it didn't work. What you can do next after you've given up on your first Substack is create a second Substack, because now you know so much more about Substack and so much more about what it takes to grow. And all the stories I've heard of people having a Substack, giving it up because it didn't work, and trying it again, they had a much more successful Substack publication the second time around. So maybe give that a try. Wrapping it up to talk about notes and note boost challenges and what to do to succeed on notes. I want you to use notes to promote your long form content, because otherwise it's just going to your subscribers that may or may not read it. So definitely share snippets of your articles on notes. Use the scheduling feature on Substack so you can share the same note or almost the same note at different times during the week and during the day, so it can hit different time zones. Know that 50% of everyone on Substack is in the US, so Make sure to have notes scheduled for US time zones. And show up on Substack genuinely to have real conversations with people in notes, in chat, whatever, and see how that creates something magical. You need to find the rhythm and the way to Substack that gives you satisfaction personally, to enjoy it, to show up, to genuinely help people, and success will follow. Viral notes are not needed. Everyone knows if you follow the people writing about notes for long enough or complaining about notes for long enough, you will learn that a lot of the viral notes get you a lot of subscribers that then quickly unsubscribe because they basically judged you by one note. And if that note is not like literally the elevator pitch for your Substack, which rarely it is, people might subscribe and then quickly unsubscribe. So don't worry about going viral. Don't worry about having, super successful notes. Just do what's true to you, what's authentic to you, and that's gonna definitely make you stand out in a crowd of people using the same templates and the same structures to get their notes, to be noticed online and things like that. You do you. And I'm pretty sure you might end up being more successful than people participating in these note boost challenges. It's such a tongue twister. So before my son wakes up from his little nap, I'm going to wrap it here. Thank you for listening to the first episode of Substack Confidential. I share my opinions about Substack, so you don't need to start from zero. And I hope it helps someone out there. Thank you for listening, and tune in for another episode sometime soon. And if you like what I'm talking about here and would like a beautiful looking Substack and learning cool tips and tools that you can use within Substack to update your Substack game, then subscribe to MeTime Learn Substack Fast. I'll put a link to it. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next episode. And as always, it takes some time for me to unlock my laptop and stop the recording. Here we are. Where's the end button? Here we are. I record this podcast directly from Substack in the recording studio, just turning off video and just using sound. And then it uploads directly on the podcast. FYI, just another tip. Thank you for listening and have an amazing day.